Hey guys, it's Kiss and welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything and anything horror, the good, the bad, and the gory. We recently received a key for the new horror game called Apartment 1406 by Aram Studio, which by the way is a one-person studio, and I was really excited to check it out, so we dove headfirst into it this past stream, and boy oh boy do we have some things to talk about. And don't forget that if you want to first watch the gameplay that is available on my other channel, you'll find the link down below in the description. On to the review. As always, we are rating this in 4 categories: jump scares, gore, story, and the voice acting. Since this is a quick hit, we will start with the voice acting first. I don't know who the devs got to play this little girl, but oh my god, she is so creepy. She really only talks a few times, and we do catch her singing at one point. She has this like creepy high-pitched voice where it sounds like we were constantly being played with, and she couldn't have a care in the world about being trapped with this demon. The demon was also pretty cool, super deep voice, very growly and really creepy. Ethan wasn't bad either. He sounded scared when he needed to be, and his surprise voice was spot on. Very well done with the voice acting. It gets a 7 out of 10 for me. Next up, gore. The first part of the game isn't gory at all, literally none. We are basically just exploring the apartment. But once we let the demon loose, things go from 0 to 100 very quickly. Everything is gory. There are burnt people hanging from the walls in almost every room. People are locked in cages. There are severed heads laying around everywhere and even in the toilet.
Oh my god, there's a head in there!
Anytime you get hit or you hit a monster, there are sprays of blood everywhere. It's not as bloody though, as it is just burned, severed bodies everywhere. And you all know my opinion that gore does not make a horror game. Gore gets a 6 out of 10.
My shadow scared the crap out of me.
On to the jump scares. This game doesn't give you a single chance to breathe. As soon as the game starts and Ethan walks into the apartment building, it begins. My personal favorite is this guy right here. Just boop. I like that you feel like you can never really relax in this game. You don't know what you're walking into around the corners. It could be these fast little buggers, or one of the scientist-looking fellows. Sometimes it's the little girl running down the steps. Sometimes a mannequin. You just can't let your guard down. That's how you die, and I know from personal experience. There were a couple moments that I felt like it should have been a jump scare, but happened too early, or honestly, I was just too wrapped up in inspecting things like this one. But all in all, spines tingling and heart racing the whole game. Jump scares get a 7 out of 10.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Let me out.
Finally, the story. Pretty to the point as it is a rather short game, but you play as Ethan. Ethan is the assistant to Professor Gabriel, who is a demon hunter of sorts. I say that because, like, what even is that really? Am I playing Supernatural? Anyway, Ethan's biggest goal in his entire life is to be a demon hunter, because that is a totally normal thing to want to be when you grow up. So Gabriel's having a rough go of it and sends Ethan to this apartment complex and tells him to go to apartment 1406 to retrieve an occult manuscript he needs that he left there. This apartment is run down. The whole building is a mess. When we finally get up to the apartment with some friendly hellos from neighborhood ghosts, nothing is what it seems. Beds are flipped over, there are broken windows, creepy little red-eye dolls that follow you with their gaze. A weird-ass bathroom setup. Who does this? There is not a single sink in sight. Oh, and don't forget that chain door at the end of the hallway. Silent Hill, anyone? Seriously, this looks exactly like the Silent Hill 4 door, and I am here for it because it's my favorite Silent Hill game. I know that's controversial. Honestly, this game screams Silent Hill, I'm not gonna lie. We eventually, and I say eventually because I'm a goof who couldn't find the darn button to save my life, find a secret room, and then we are subsequently attacked by a bunch of little slappies. Goosebumps, anybody? In this room, we find a key that will allow us to open the door that no one should ever need or want to open.
I need a drink and I'm scared to get up.
Throughout the game, we do find letters and journal entries from Gabriel and from his daughter, Emma, who had psychic abilities, and Gabriel used her in his exorcisms. Imagine. Before we open the dreaded door, a journal entry from Gabriel tells us he exorcised the demon, but really he chained this thing up and then a fire started and everyone that was helping him died. Of course he got out, but Emma was lost. Or was she? So we go into this door and lo and behold, what do we do? Set the demon free, because of course we do. This transforms the apartment and the building very Silent Hill-esque, and now we have monsters to face.
See? Silent Hill!
We are set to the task of making our way back down the building and trying to find the book we came for and finding the way out. We also learned that Emma has found herself stuck in the demon's dimension, and by the sounds of things, can understand why this demon is so upset. She also got left behind, and no one came back for her. I'd be a little upset as well. When we finally find the book in a cage, we must battle the demon itself. My goodness, he was a rascal. But once he's defeated, we can grab the book and get on out. Or can we? Not a bad take for a horror game. I enjoyed the story enough that it's getting a 6 out of 10.
Woo!
Like I said earlier, this game was created by a one-person studio, so honestly, they did really well. I have some complaints though, as no game is without its faults. My first biggest complaint is the drops. I complain about this all stream. There are not nearly enough drops in this game, be it health or ammo at all. Now, I understand you don't want to make it too hard and you don't want to make it too easy, but honestly, this was overkill. There are 3 bosses and a couple harder little guys right in a row, and there just isn't enough ammo or health. And your axe is basically useless. My other complaint is how close together the bosses were, and I get it, it's a short game. I had this giant quill dog thing, which honestly I cheesed through a door. He took all of my shotgun ammo to kill. And I didn't have much to begin with. And then I fought some other big giant pyramid head man. Seriously, look at him. He looks just like Pyramid Head. Also cheesed that one, not gonna lie. I shut the door on him and went downstairs and died. And when my save reloaded, he was gone. And right below that is the final big boss demon man. Not enough ammo or healing items for that kind of setup. The monsters were hard. I'm not complaining that they were hard, but it felt too hard for the story in the game. I think I restarted the final boss probably 10 times before I beat it.
Where? Where? Okay. If I don't look, we'll be okay. No! I don't love these boss fights. 4, I'm dead.
And honestly, again, I cheesed it. It was almost impossible to beat. I just didn't have enough of anything. Mostly heals. I'm a big fan of more walking simulator games, to be honest. The beginning of the game was beautiful. It was scary, not like ridiculously slow. I wasn't expecting the jump scares, and I was on my edge of the seat the whole time. But once we set the demon free, I do feel like the game went downhill from there. I was constantly killing something or being killed, and I think in a horror game that can take away from the horror aspect. It wasn't balanced enough for me. It went from survival horror to an action, barely horror. I did enjoy the story. I was scared, and it was a good short game. As soon as I saw the trailer for the game, it screamed Silent Hill for me. The sirens, the different dimensions, how everything looks, even the sound of the monsters, the fact that everyone burned in the building, super Silent Hill vibes. I do really think less of the combat would have benefited the game personally, but all in all, it was a fun game, and kudos to the one-man dev team. We are giving the game a 2.5 out of 5 kisses. That is it for us. Don't forget to check out Apartment 1406, available on Steam. I do believe it is currently on sale. If you like more action horror games, you will definitely like this one, especially if you like a bit of a challenge. As always, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.
Okay, can we just talk about the fact that I totally did not do the final boss fights?